AITA for not inviting my sister to my wedding after she replaced me as her maid of honor. My little sister 26F had a surprise engagement at the end of March. I helped her now fiancé 30M pick the ring, made sure she had a pretty dress to wear and her nails done, etc. All from another state. My family took a whole weekend off to celebrate her engagement in another state. It cost over $650 for the weekend for me and my partner, Airbnb, food, gifts, etc. A big chunk of money we could have used for the big family trip to Europe in June. She was showered with love all weekend. It was wonderful. Besides the stepmother of her fiancé, that's another story. She had everyone. I was excited to help with all the wedding events. Now me 29F and my sister are not much alike. I am more outgoing, go with the flow, who always had a bunch of friends because I am a social butterfly. I always watched out for her in school, never bullied her beside the occasional tease. When it's just the two of us at home like normal siblings, my friends knew never to make fun of her. I made it clear. She was always the quiet, read a book, but stood her ground, but never really understood social norms and took everything said to her in offense. When she has a grudge, my sister doesn't know how to let it go, and she is very my way or the highway. Well, during the engagement weekend, I told her nicely in front of the fiancé and my boyfriend 29M, sis, I know you always wanted me to be your maid of honor and I will take on the role fully if you still want that, but if you would like your childhood friend Nancy to be the maid of honor, it will not hurt my feelings. My sister's childhood friend Nancy 25F are to peas in a pod. She was so mad at me, saying, how could you even think that? You will be my maid of honor, end of discussion. So I took on the role. I started to get excited. I was throwing ideas about the bachelorette party to my mom. I was helping my mom with ideas for the bridal shower, all hunky-dory. Now we were going to Europe in June for a family event. My parents, little sis and fiancé, then me and my boyfriend. My BF proposed to me right before we left for the Euro trip. A spring photo shoot my now fiancé planned. I always wanted an intimate proposal. He planned it perfectly. We had a huge photo shoot. It was perfect. So we arrived a couple days after everyone. When we all met up, my sister punched my fiancé arm BC. He didn't let her help pick out the ring, etc. My fiancé wanted to pick it himself and surprise everyone. It was a moment just for us. I told her it was exactly what I wanted, and what better way to celebrate than in Europe. I brushed her off. Now I kinda got the feeling she was upset I was engaged, because when we saw our family, they were so excited for me and they hadn't seen me in over 5 years. But my mom and I made sure to say, don't forget sis just got engaged. She was never left out. Partway through the trip, my fiancé and I received our professional photos. I was so excited to show everyone they were beautiful. They came in enough time to show my family before we parted ways for all of our other trips with just our significant others. I showed my mom. She was so excited, and I showed my sister, whose response was those are nice, no giggles or excitement. I was a little shocked, but I let it go. I just enjoyed my moment, giggled with my fiancé, loving all the photos. At this point I'm seeing my sister, little green monster. I try not to let it bother me, but was also annoyed. She wasn't like how I was for her engagement. After the trip, me and my fiancé get back a couple weeks after my parents and sister and her fiancé. We stayed longer. My sister was already in wedding Bridezilla mode, calling me about when I can come up to her to go dress shopping, etc. I told her, well, can you give me 2 months to recoup? I can't just drop another couple $100, $200 on visiting you. I have work. She doesn't work. Fiancé makes a lot of money, so sis is a stay-at-home. Fiancé asked her, why don't you come home? We can start trying on different styles so you can find what you like. Then we can go to fancy store in your state when I can get some time off. Caused a huge fight. She was already trying the tactic on my mom and made my mom cry a couple times before I came home. Finally, after a lot reasoning and not getting through to sister, I told her my grandma, who has trouble walking, 77, and mother will fly up to her in September, but she is too busy to fly home to see us and doesn't want to deal with her fittings in another state. She has to come back down for the bachelorette party and bridal shower. During my last phone with my sister, I was confirming the dates of the dress shopping for her and asked her again the list of people she wanted to invite to the bachelorette party, because I wanted to see what everyone could contribute, how many, etc. This is when she dodged the question and said, well, I did want to tell you that since you will be too busy planning your wedding, I think my friend Nancy will be maid of honor now to take it off your plate. My mouth dropped. I just responded saying, well sis, you don't have to worry about my wedding plans ruining your wedding plans. Then just ended the call. I was really hurt because I was actually excited about planning everything for her. I cried. I really didn't want to be her maid of honor because I thought Nancy would be a better fit, but for her to demote me when we didn't have anything planned for a wedding was hurtful. During my sister's busy schedule, me and my fiance actually snuck in a courthouse wedding. LOL, my parents did caught wind and it was short of sweet, we kinda just did it. My best friend was the witness. It was perfect. I didn't tell my sister. I told her after the ink dried. I really didn't want to hear her complaining about not being included or judged by what we were doing, and it was just for me and my hubby. My sister and her fiance kept saying they wished they could have been there passive-aggressively, but I told her we like to surprise everyone and a big wedding right now wasn't in our cards. She is now barely talking to me besides going shopping for wedding dresses through the group chat. AITA for not telling my sister I got married.